So yesterday I attended a seminar on artificial intelligence. This is the second one I've done over the last few weeks. The first one was very, very, very doom and gloom. It had the leaders of the doom and gloom AI is going to kill us all movement on Zoom to discuss why they're so gloomy, and it was very depressing. And I also found it very detached from reality. Yesterday were people who are less doom and gloom, but still pretty doom and gloom, pretty negative, and wrong in so many different ways. The assumption that AI is I, and the assumption that AI is alive, and the assumption that AI can do things independent, and just the way they talk about it is just completely wrong. Anyway, that was again pretty depressing in the sense of how people talk about it. But the reality is that the overwhelming number of people in Silicon Valley right now, of the smartest people in this field, in the field of computers generally, software generally, and AI specifically, are pretty convinced that AI could do a lot of damage. I mean, real damage, some damage that cannot be reversed. That at the very least should get us thinking and worrying about it, or at least considering possibilities. I'm going to do a few shows on AI. I'm trying to get some big names to come on the Yaron Brook Show to talk about it, some people who are more optimistic or more positive to talk about it. We'll see how that goes. These are going to be non-objectivists. These are going to be kind of some of the big names. We'll see if I can get them from Silicon Valley. But yeah, so that's some of what I'm going to do to combat this. But don't worry. I don't think you should worry, because your government is on top of these things. So we should all be happy and not worry about anything, because 7 companies, Google, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, OpenAI, Anthropic, and Inflection, have all met now with the White House, with President Biden, and have voluntarily come to an agreement, voluntarily with a cocked gun placed to every one of their foreheads, that these companies will all adhere to certain standards that are going to be basically agreed to among them and the Biden administration. There will be an executive order following that will try to rope in other companies into this as well, beyond the 7. And then beyond that, you can expect legislation to regulate AI. So Congress will do this. It's just, with Congress, it takes a lot of time. So in the meantime, the tech companies are committing to a few things. They're committed to develop a mechanism so that users will know when content is generated by artificial intelligence through a watermark. I think probably a good idea. I don't think government should be dictating this, but I think it's a good idea for AI companies to do this. Companies will also said they would make a point to avoid bias and discrimination and protect privacy. This is where the BS starts. The BS starts is when they talk about misinformation. This is where we're going to see the government involved in issues of free speech, in what AI can say and what AI cannot say. I like the idea of a watermark. I like some of these things. I don't like the idea that government is involved in any way in terms of the speech. Let's see. Companies also committed to having the AI systems tested through a third party before being released. So, for example, a lot of these companies are going to go to DEF CON next week, I guess, next month in Las Vegas, where it's a hacker conference where their AI systems will be tested. So these are kind of things that the AI companies have agreed to do. Now, I know some of you would like me to go out and say, oh, evil Microsoft, evil Google, evil Meta. I don't blame the companies. I don't blame them one bit. This is the government is hovering over them. If they don't get involved early in setting up these regulations, they'll be, they'll be destroyed by them. They might as well participate. Otherwise, ignorant, stupid, irrational politicians will end up doing all this. Now, as part of this, are they going to protect themselves against competition? Sure, we know that, but the problem there is government intervention in the economy. It's always government intervention in the economy that is to blame. The fault here is with the White House. The fault here is with Congress. There's already bills being written to not get involved and to not try to influence those bills is basically suicide. Not to have your man in Washington is suicide. Now, it might turn out that you're dead anyway, but you've got to be involved. You've got to be part of the process. Otherwise, you know exactly what the consequences are going to be. All right, so AI might kill us, but don't worry. The Biden White House is on top of it, and they're going to protect us, and they're going to save the day.